Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's May 29th, 2026, and we're going to read from Deuteronomy chapter 2, and then we're going to read Psalm 83 and 84. All right, so Deuteronomy, again, Moses is preparing this second generation of Israelites to go into the promised land that their fathers, the first generation, refused to do. And he's going through the history and to let them know, why that happened and why they're there and what's at stake for them should they decide to do it again and refuse to go in. And let's go ahead and we're going to read Deuteronomy chapter 2. Then we turned and we journeyed into the wilderness of the way of the Red Sea, as the Lord spoke to me. And we skirted Mount Seir for many days. And the Lord spoke to me, saying, You have skirted this mountain long enough. Turn northward and command the people, saying, You are about to pass through the territory of your brethren, the descendants of Esau, who live in Seir. They will be afraid of you. Therefore watch yourselves carefully. Do not meddle with them, for I will not give you any of their land, not as much as one footstep, because I have given Mount Seir to Esau as a possession. So that's the land of Edom, which were the descendants of Esau. You shall buy food from them with money that you may eat, and you shall also buy water from them with money that you may drink. For the Lord your God has blessed you in all the work of your hand. He knows you're trudging through this great wilderness. These 40 years, he knows you're trudging through this great wilderness for 40 years. The Lord your God has been with you. You have lacked nothing. And when we passed beyond our brethren, the descendants of Esau who dwell in Seir, away from the road of the plain, away from Elath and Ezion Geber, we turned and passed by way of the wilderness of Moab. So Esau wouldn't let them go through, so they went around. Then the Lord said to me, Do not harass Moab, and Moabites come from Lot, nor contend with them in battle, for I will not give you any of their land as a possession, because I have given Ar to the descendants of Lot as a possession. The Amim had dwelt there in times past, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. They were also regarded as giants like the Anakim, but the Moabites called them Amim. The Horites formerly dwelt in Seir, but the descendants of Esau dispossessed them and destroyed them from before them and dwell in their place, just as Israel did to the land of their possession, which the Lord gave them. So a little aside telling us how they jostled around for their position. Verse 13, Now rise and cross over the valley of the Zered. So we crossed over the valley of the Zered, and the time we took to come from Kadesh Barnea until we crossed over the valley of Zered was 38 years, until all the generation of the men of war was consumed from the midst of the camp, just as the Lord had sworn to them. For indeed the hand of the Lord was against them to destroy them from the midst of the camp until they were consumed. So the disobedient were not allowed to cross, and they waited until they were all gone to get here on this plain. So it was when all the men of war had finally perished from among the people that the Lord spoke to me, saying, This day you are to cross over at Ar, the boundary of Moab, and when you come near the people of Ammon, do not harass them or meddle with them, for I will not give you any of the land of the people of Ammon as a possession, because I have given it to the descendants of Lot as a possession. So his son Ben-Ammi, who's where the Ammonites came from. Verse 20, That was also regarded as a land of giants. Giants formerly dwelt there, but the Ammonites call them Zemzuim, a people as great and numerous and tall as the Anakim. But the Lord destroyed them before them, and they dispossessed them and dwell in their place, just as he had done for the descendants of Esau who dwell in Seir, when he destroyed the Horites from before them. They dispossessed them and dwelt in their place, even to this day. And the Avim, who dwelt in villages as far as Gaza, the Caphtorim, who came from Caphtor, destroyed them and dwelt in their place. Now, one of the reasons they refused to go into the promised land, these giants are there and they'll wipe us out. And God is saying, hey, yeah, you know what? Yes, those people used to live here, and your cousins from Esau and your cousins from Lot and your cousins from Ben-Ammi, they didn't fear them. They knew I was with them, and I drove them out for them. Would have done it for you too, but you wouldn't let me. But we're going to do a 2.0 of that coming up here eventually. Verse 24, Rise, take your journey and cross over the river Arnon. Look, I have given it into your hands, Sihon the Amorite, king of Heshbon, and his land. Begin to possess it and engage him in battle. This day I will begin to put the dread and fear of you upon the nations under the whole heaven, who shall hear the report of you and shall tremble and be in anguish because of you. So we started this journey, and he didn't want to go to the Philistines because they weren't ready. They were weak. They weren't really a nation yet. They were just a bunch of ex-slaves. Numerically wise, they're about the same as they were then, but now they've spent 40 years marching and learning from God and learning how to work, and now he's got an army, and now they're going to go start their attacks here. And I sent messengers from the wilderness of Kedemoth to Sihon, king of Heshbon, with words of peace, saying, let me pass through your land. I will creep strictly to the road, and I will turn neither to the right nor to the left. You shall sell me food for money that I may eat, and give me water for money that I may drink. Only let me pass through on foot, just as the descendants of Esau who dwell in Seir and the Moabites who dwell in Ar did for me, until I cross the Jordan to the land which the Lord our God is giving you. So there's not a family connection here necessarily, but he gave them the same offer that he gave to the cousins and nephews of, hey, we're just passing through. We'll pay you for everything. We just want to pass through. When they refused, they went around him. This time, the refusal is going to be with an attack from them, and God's going to say, all right, you attacked us first. I'm going to release my people against you. Verse 30, but Sihon, king of Heshbon, would not let us pass through, for the Lord your God hardened his spirit, and made his heart obstinate, that he might deliver him into your hand as it is this day. We saw that with Pharaoh hardening his heart. And we want to see not necessarily God just refused to let them through. It works together. King of Sihon said, no, you're not coming through. And when it became obvious that, no, I'm not letting you through, God said, okay, he's made up his mind. I'm going to hold him to what he made up his mind to. Verse 31, and the Lord said to me, see, I have begun to give Sihon and his land over to you. Begin to possess it, that you may inherit his land. And Sihon and all his people came out against us to fight at Jahaz. And the Lord our God delivered him over to us. So we defeated him, his sons and all his people. We took all his cities at that time, and we utterly destroyed the men, women, and little ones of every city. We left none remaining. We took only the livestock as plunder for ourselves with the spoil of the cities which we took. From Aroer, which is on the bank of the river Arnon, and from the city that is in the ravine as far as Gilead, there was not one city too strong for us. The Lord our God delivered all to us. Only you did not go near the land of the people of Ammon, and anywhere along the river Jabbok, or to the cities of the mountains, or wherever the Lord our God had forbidden us. So they were obedient to God, and only attacked defensively here, and only the people and places that God wanted them to attack, they're successful. Boy, hopefully they will be that obedient through the whole taking of the promised land. Ooh, that would have been nice. They didn't do that, but we'll see that as we get to it. Let's go to Psalm 83. Prayer to frustrate conspiracy against Israel. A psalm of Asaph. So people plotting against Israel. Well, we saw that with the Ammonites here, but not necessarily a particular event, just people who made themselves enemies of God. Do not keep silent, O God. Do not hold your peace, and do not be still, O God. For behold, your enemies make a tumult. Those who hate you have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against your people, and consulted together against your sheltered ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be remembered no more. For they have consulted together with one consent. They form a confederacy against you. The tents of Edom and the Ishmaelites, Moab and the Hagarites, Gebal, Ammon and Amalek, Philistia with its inhabitants of Tyre, Assyria also has joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot. Deal with them as with Midian, as with Sisera, as with Jabin at the brook Kishon, who perished at Endor, who became as refuse on the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeb, yes, all the princes like Zebah and Zalmunna, who said, let us take for ourselves the pastures of God for possession. So much later in the history of Israel, we would see King David have to go out and fight someone, and the Edomites would sneak into the back and say, oh, let's plunder a few things. So that's what they're talking about. These people that are rising up and harassing your people, God, what's going on? Why don't you come and do something about it? So kind of a lament here. Oh my God, make them like the whirling dust, like the chaff before the wind, back in 13. As the fire burns the woods, and as the flame sets the mountains on fire, so pursue them with your tempest. Frighten them with your storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek your name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and dismayed forever. Yes, let them be put to shame and perish, that they may know that you, whose name alone is the Lord, are the Most High over all the earth. Psalm 84, the blessedness of dwelling in the house of God. To the chief musician on an instrument of Gath, a psalm of the sons of Korah, or switching from Asaph back to the sons of Korah. This isn't called a song of ascents, but it is a song of ascent. What's an ascent? Well, Jerusalem's on a hill up on a mountain, and if you're going up to the temple as a pilgrim, you are going up. You're ascending to get to the temple, and as you go, you would sing psalms and think about what you were going to do when you got to the temple. And that's what this psalm is about. How lovely is your tabernacle, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs, yes, even faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young. Even your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God, blessed are those who dwell in your house. They will still be praising you. Blessed is the man whose strength is in you, whose heart is set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a spring. The rain also covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. O Lord God of hosts, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. O God, behold our shield, and look upon the face of your anointed. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of wickedness. For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will be withheld from those who walk uprightly. O Lord of hosts, blessed is the man who trusts in you. May God bless the reading of his word, and may God bless you. Bye.